Hello students, in the today's session we will discuss the same problem which we have started in the last session. Due to some reason that got interrupted and I have to continue that problem in this session. Alright, so I hope you have visited that problem and you understood that we were discussing beams problem, and in that we chose a beam which is simply supported and has a UDL upon its throughout the length or on its complete span. Along with the UDL, it also has one concentrated point load, and that has its own value of a load. We have this combination for analysis and designing, and we have to design unsupported, simply supported beam with some sections choosing from our steel table. So the problem was half I have covered in the previous video. Now I have to complete the remaining part. What we have done in the previous video, that I'm gonna discuss first, that we will revise first and then we will go for the remaining part in this video. So we have discussed that there is a beam which is simply supported and it has uniformly distributed load upon it. Along with it, exactly at the middle we have a point load, right? In this beam, we want to design a section for this beam. For this arrangement, we want to design a section, or we have to choose a section from steel table, and from there we have to design our beam for the given loading condition. We have already chosen a one kind of a section, and that procedure is already over. For that we have calculated ZP. ZP is the section modulus, plastic section modulus, right? And next is, once we calculated ZP, we have chosen the steel, one section from the steel table, right? Then after that we have, next is the checking the capability of our section. The section which we have chosen for designing is capable of taking the load coming upon it, and will it resist, or will it provide a sufficient resistance for deflection, and what is the shear carrying capacity, or how do it resist the shear forces. So this all comes in the calculation. Till calculating the plastic section modulus and cross-checking it, the required plastic section modulus we have calculated, and then we have calculated the total loading upon our beam including self-weight. Then we have cross-checked this section modulus provided by our section and the required section modulus, right? So we have checked that the section modulus required and section modulus provided by our section, and from there we have concluded the chosen section is adequate. You can see over here I have said, hence the chosen section is adequate. Why I said that? Because the plastic section modulus is, what we calculated is 2640.7 into 10 to the power 3. That was required plastic section modulus, okay? That was the required plastic section modulus. But here, one which is provided by our section, the section which we have chosen, and it from the steel table we have wrote the steel properties, and from there we come to know that section modulus, plastic section modulus of the section we have choose for designing is has value 2711.98, 2711.98, and that's why we have concluded that our calculation or our section which we have chosen is adequate. Okay, now next is calculation of design shear force. Now why do we calculating design shear force, and what's its purpose? So see here, the three remaining parts, or the major part of our problem is that first you choose one section, cross check the section modulus given and required, provided and required, If the provided section modulus or plastic section modulus provided by the section we have choose is greater than the required, our section is adequate. Then we will check shear force and shear strength. For checking that, we have a condition. There are two conditions. One is that in which shear force may be greater than the 0.6 times shear strength, and shear strength may be lesser than the 0.6 times shear strength. We have to check that condition, and from then we will conclude that our section is good to carry bending or flexural forces as well as shear forces. Let's see the calculation for shear force. First we will calculate shear force, and we know how to calculate shear force. For simply supported beam, carry UDL and point load upon it. There is a standard formula. That standard formula is known to you. I have just used that formula. Instead of writing the formula, I have wrote directly the values. I hope from the strength of material, from the SOM topics, you have understood how to calculate shear force for the standard beams, and from there I have calculated shear force for the beam which has simply supported, having UDL upon it and concentrated point load. Okay. Now next is calculating design shear strength. How do we calculate that? This is given in your IS code. You have a codal provision for it. Fy divided by gamma m naught into under root 3. Fy into h into thickness of web. So here it is a formula. This formula is mentioned in your IS code also. Put the all values in it. See what is Fy. Fy is 250, right? Yield stresses. Gamma m naught, which is 1.1 under root 3 into h. Now h is what? Height of your overall height of your section. And as we choose the section ISMB 550, hope you remember, we have chosen section ISMB 550. Therefore, the height, overall height h will be 550 over here. So see here, I have wrote 550. Okay, then the thickness of web for the ISMB 550, which is mentioned in the steel table. Just collect the values from there and put into the formulas. Once we got the value for shear strength, which is 808.29, we have to cross check it with the shear force. We have to cross check it with the shear force. Shear force value is 266 kilonewton. Now, checking shear strength with shear force is the next task. How we will do that? For that, I need to check the condition 1, where I assume that section shear strength is shear force is greater than 0.6 times shear strength, or it can be lesser than 0.6 of shear strength. So to check that condition, first I have calculated 0.6 times of shear strength. Because our condition asks us to check what? Shear force can be greater than 0.6 times of shear strength or can be less than 0.6 times of shear strength. So first we will calculate this value, and that's what I did over here. I calculated 0.6 times the shear strength. Then the design shear force. Shear force is lesser than, so now our 0.6 VD calculation tell us 485 kilonewton. The value of it is 485 kilonewton. This 485 kilonewton value is cross-checked. Has to be cross-checked with what? Shear force. What is shear force here? Shear force V is 266 kilonewton. Right? Shear force V is 266 kilonewton. Therefore, therefore this V value is cross-checked with the 0.6 VD, and we come to know that V, shear force, is lesser than the 0.6 VD. Correct? And the design shear force is less than 0.6 VD. Now next, in the next step, we will check the design capacity of the section. How we will do that? For that, we need to classify our section. Does our section lies in a plastic range or cylinder, compact, semi-compact? For that, we need to take care of what category our section falls into. Is it compact, semi-compact, plastic or slender? On that basis, we will decide its design capacity. To check that, I have done this plenty times before, and you know how to do this. For this, to do this classification, we have to take help of table number 2 from IS 800-2007. Open your IS code and check the depth to thickness ratios. Depth to thickness ratio is, if it is less than 67 epsilon as per the table number 2 of your IS code, if it is less than 67 epsilon, then we can use this formula, which is again mentioned in your IS code. This all the clauses I have already discussed with you in the previous video. Go visit that video and try to understand what I am saying over here. Okay, so only if this condition satisfies, then and then only we can use this formula, second formula. And also that formula need to cross check with this value and the formula value, what will be the design moment that need to be lesser than this ratio. Okay, so let's calculate first MD, design moment, and then we will cross check it with the given value. So MD will be equals to 1 point. See here, MD is having formula like beta B into ZP. ZP we know, then Fy we know, then gamma M naught also we know. So only value remaining to calculate is beta B. Okay, this beta B is mentioned in your IS code. Go open your IS code and go to this formula page. There they said if your section falls in a plastic section, if as per the classification, if your section is in the plastic range, follows the plastic category, then beta B will be equals to 1.0. It will be equals to 1.0. Now MD will be equals to 1.0 or 1 into 2711.98 into 10 to the power 3 into 250 divided by 1.10. Everything is known to you. This is Fy, this is gamma M naught, ZP is already we have calculated above. For it is not required. What you have to take here, the value what you have to insert in this formula is the value of a section. Is a value of section, not the value of your required ZP. Okay, so please make a note of this. And 1 from the IS code. Once you calculate that, you have to check with this another ratio. That another ratio has a value 643.58. Everything is known to you. ZE for our section, Fy known, gamma M naught is known. Calculate that value. That value is 643.58, and our value of design moment is 616.36. So it is lesser, and that's why it is adequate, it is safe, or we can say it is okay. Next is, here I have wrote one statement. Hence, the design capacity of the member is more than the maximum bending moment. What I say? The design capacity of a member, which is 616.36, is greater than the bending moment. Where from this bending moment is came into the picture. So see here, we have in the beginning of our problem, we already calculated bending moment. We already calculated bending moment twice. One excluding self weight and the ones including self weight. See here, this is including self weight. So this is the maximum value of bending moment required, and we what is provided by our section, that we have checked. We have already calculated that value is 643. So the bending moment, highest bending moment including self weight required is 600, and ours is providing not this one. Ours is providing 616, little more than the required. Therefore, hence the design capacity of a member is more than the maximum bending moment, and our section is safe to execute into the structure. Right, the design is our safe. Now again, we are only checking the design capacity is not sufficient. We have to check for deflection also. This deflection comes in the serviceability criteria. What is serviceability criteria? Serviceability criteria says that in the structures, not only the structure should sufficient to carry the loads, and it should not be always like the strength is the only criteria. No, it is not like that. What you have to check for is also criteria for serviceability. What is serviceability includes? Serviceability includes crack width, fire resistance and deflection. How much deflection is getting inside the structure is need to be controlled. How much members are getting deflected is need to be controlled. Why we are going for that? Because if the structural members are showing in more than required deflection, we can't say more than required, we can say inappropriate deflection, then the person living into it will not feel safe, to live into. And that's why we have to take care of deflection criteria. Though the strength criteria is the major one and which causes to structure fail down, and we have taken care of it, still we have to take care of another second criteria, which is even the stated by limit state of serviceability, even the stated by IS code, and it is said as a limit state of serviceability, which includes deflection, crack width and fire resistance. So for our structure, we at least have to give a check for deflection. Is the deflection is within the control or within the limit? So to do so, we have to take care of, there is only the formula we have to cross check with. The formula says that the deflection for a particular beam, our beam was simply supported beam, we were discussing simply supported beam with UDL and point load. For this beam, we have from the structural analysis 1, we already understood how to calculate deflection, right? And that standard formula for the deflection I am using over here, and we will cross check the deflection with maximum limit. What is the deflection given by my beam and what is the maximum allowable deflection for that beam? We will cross check we will cross verify it. How we will do that? What is the deflection is coming on my beam or coming within my beam, and I will cross check it with the maximum allowable deflection for the particular arrangement of a beam or similar kind of my arrangement, right? So to do so, see here, for our arrangement simply supported beam with the UDL and concentrated point load, the formula for deflection is this one: deflection due to UDL and deflection due to point load. The formulas are already known to you. If you don't have, go open your analysis books and check the formulas. Those formulas are required over here, okay? And I will suggest you to keep the note of that formula into your study table or somewhere on the wall, and keep reminding it again and again to yourself, okay? So deflection for simply supported beam with UDL and point load is, I have calculated like this. The value for it has to be cross checked with what? The maximum deflection, and the maximum deflection by the IS code is L by 300. L by 300. Length divided by 300. What is the length for our beam? 7 meter span beam, right? We are using 7 meter span beam. Therefore, 7000 divided by 300 gives the maximum deflection value 23.33. And hence, the actual deflection is much lesser than the allowable maximum deflection. Our designing is safe for deflection as well as in bending moment and shear, and for shear. This is how we solve a answer for simply supported beam, and it is laterally supported. In the next videos, we will try to understand, or we try to discuss the Rest, second part of a beam, second type of a beams, which is laterally unsupported beams. We will try to solve those problem in the coming two videos, and then we will end with our fourth unit. We will move towards fifth unit. Thank you so much.